Hi guys, and welcome to our second episode of the Underground podcast. I'm Harvey.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Ollie.
And this is the show where we talk about current music and interview underground artists in Southampton. So today it's the second release of February so far, and what have you guys been listening to?
I've been listening to the AJ Tracey album that came out today.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I love it. I think it's like, I don't know, I just really love it. I think it's really good.
Is the song with Gigs good? You listen to that one?
I've listened to all of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw Gigs in
Yeah,
the feature.
it's alright. I wouldn't say it's a standout song. Ladbroke Grove is my standout song. It's a bit different, and I really like it.
Oh, London represent. Living.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, not really a big fan of grime, so
Yeah.
don't know if I'll really listen to it. I might try, but...
I reckon give it a go. There's a couple of songs on there I think you'll like.
Ollie, what about you?
So, the standout for me today was Mahaley's new song, his single, Do Not Disturb. Because basically, I wrote about it on the blog post for artists to look forward to this year. So, I thought it fitted quite nicely into the podcast today. But yeah, if you're a fan of like R&B and like soul, I reckon you should give her a listen.
And I'd say I'm quite a fan of her myself.
Yeah, she's
I haven't
pretty
really
sick.
listened to her. But
I actually listened to the song today. I didn't mind it. I think she's done better things before. She's
Oh,
got a song
really?
called No Pressure that I live for.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. To be fair, I listened to quite a bit today. I've been a little bit busy. But I heard the Maverick Sabre and Georgia Smith song.
I love that.
And fan of both of them for years. So I love that there's finally like a proper... Now that they're kind of on their games in the industry.
Yeah.
I love that there's finally a bit
He's
of a...
still a little bit low key though when he Maverick Sabre. I wouldn't
He
say
is.
he's like as big as Georgia Smith.
Oh, no. I wonder if he'll ever get that big. If he'll ever get like
I
mainstream
don't think
success.
he
though.
will.
He's been around for a while. Beautiful
Yeah.
voice though.
Yeah, it's so unique as well. You can almost like spot it on a song straight away, like if it's him, because it
Literally.
has got that little like unique tone.
What do you think of Georgia's album?
I loved it.
I loved it, yeah, really liked it.
I haven't really met anyone that doesn't like it. Like,
To be fair, neither have I really.
everyone that I know that like loves music and likes her loved the album, so I think it just sort of like lived up to expectations, really.
True. And it actually came out I think nearly a week ago, like a year ago today.
Oh,
It
really?
came out I think it literally came out February 3rd. The album's called February 3rd. So
Oh, okay.
I saw
didn't
someone going
feel
about
that
it.
long ago. But yeah, she's up for a Brit as well this year, isn't she?
Oh yeah, fuck. Can I
Yeah.
swear?
Yeah, it'd be spoiling.
Oh, we can swear, can't we? We don't keep it
Yeah.
PG. Who gives a fuck? I thought it was quite interesting. Marie and the Diamonds came back.
Yeah, under a new name, just Marina.
Bit of a trend it seems lately.
Yeah, after Eliza Doolittle did it a couple
Yeah.
of months ago.
And I lived for Eliza's album. That was everything. But I must say, I'm not actually a very big fan of Marina either. I just sound like a really negative arsehole today, but I'm not actually a huge fan of Marina either. I think she's a pop genius in certain ways, but...
I've never liked her, really. Like, I can't even remember her, like, standout single.
Oh no,
Not
she's
even
got
gonna
that song How to Be a Heartbreaker, and that just used to absolutely snatch me as a child.
lie. Radioactive.
I didn't like Radioactive. Producing that.
Yeah.
Boom. But no, do you know what? I've got a lot of friends who love her as well. I was intrigued to hear what she had today. She hasn't released in a long time, but a lot of like industry insiders love her.
She sounded, like, really influenced by Lana Del Rey. It was a bit strange. Like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it.
Do you know? I think I heard once she normally like writes and like produces everything she does.
Really?
Yeah, apparently like everything's her. So I want to see if
I'm not
it's the
surprised
same.
by that. But,
But 100% take my word for it. But I've heard it a few times. I never actually
Yeah.
listened to it.
no, that's fair enough.
But yeah, that's the tea. You can go, well, do you know what, since it's also our first episode of the year talking about this, what's everyone thought of music this year so far?
Oh, why drop a question like that on me?
Well, what do you
Nothing
think?
planned.
I can't, so far I think he's been a bit lazy.
Nothing
Yeah,
stood
nothing
out-
special.
Stood out to me with it yet, I don't think, but there's
Yeah.
still a lot of time, it's only Feb.
Exactly. But
I
like,
don't know, I think every New Music Friday's been a bit meh. There's been a few things I like, but nothing like, oh my god,
to be fair, I accept like January can be a bit slow.
dry.
Yeah, because it's
Dry
also
Jan.
Christmas
It's dry
period.
Jan,
but- Okay. So our guest today, and our first guest of the season, is Southampton-based DJ producer Pandar.
And now here's our interview with him.
And if you like the interview, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social medias. On Twitter, it's Underground PC UK, and on... Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Underground podcast. My name's Harvey.
Good morning.
Good morning, why not good morning?
Alright, Go.
Can we not do good morning? Do you want to do something else?
Well, okay.
Depends if if that's in the camera. Or
Oh.
Now that's the fucking tea.
That is true. Thank you.
No, it's not. I just shat myself for a
Good morning, it's 2 p.m.
Emily, you're going to blur that out.
Right, rises.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Underground Podcast. My name's Harvey.
My name's Emily.
And my name's Ollie.
And today we have a special guest with us. We have lovely Dan Parsons, also
Hello.
known as Pandar.
Oh, thank you.
How are you, my love?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm wonderful, a bit tired. What can
Oh,
we do?
we all are.
We know the feeling.
Yeah.
It's alright.
So obviously we brought you in today because you're obviously like an aspiring and currently like emerging like DJ and producer in Southampton. And basically we just wanted to get like your kind of opinions and your kind of experience and what you kind of think of the Southampton scene and music scene, etc.
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't we actually start like who inspired you in like music?
When it comes to dance music, I'd definitely say Disclosure were a big influence for me.
Nice.
Because I remember when I was I'd say a young kid, it was probably like 5 years ago, but their album Settle came out, and I remember hearing that, and I was like, whoa, this is like so fresh. I've never heard stuff like this before. So I was like, wow, I want to do stuff like this. And then I saw they did their like live sets and things like that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm in love with these guys.
That's
So-
That was like the life-changing moment.
oh yeah, for sure.
Was that when you started getting into DJing? Or would you already DJ before
I kind of like, I used to go around my mates and use a little MIDI controller or whatever and just have a mess around, but it wasn't really like, I didn't think, oh, this is what I want to do, really,
Yeah.
until that kind of stuff came around.
Do you feel like it just kind of naturally came together?
Yeah, I mean, I was always kind of musical anyway. So I used to play trumpet when I was in primary school. Obviously,
Nice.
that has no relation to dance music.
You never know. You
That's
never
true.
know.
It might bring it back. But yeah, I used to play trumpet. Then I got into drums and stuff in secondary school, and then that kind of had a natural progression when I started listening to dance music anyway. So
Nice. So, when did you like learn how to DJ? So obviously you say in the beginning, like it was just obviously the recordings in the beginning, but when did it kind of progress? So you like getting decks or just like learning properly, like you knew you wanted to start producing?
yeah, well, what I used to do was I used to bring decks to house parties and stuff. You know, when you're like 17, you know,
Yeah.
drinking vodka cranberries and balls. I used to just bring, you know, my decks to house parties and have a mix and stuff. And, you know, it was really good fun. It was more kind of chilled still. And then I suppose kind of just before I came to uni was when like the gigs actually started for me. So it was only then that I really was like, wow, I can do this if I really want to do it. So
Yeah.
At what point did you like get the confidence for that? Like,
I don't think anyone really has the confidence at first. I think
Yeah.
you only start getting confidence when you play in front of more and more people in like a club, I suppose, because at a house party, you know, you could be steaming and you'd be fine, and if you mess up, it doesn't matter. But when you're in a club, it's more
It's
important.
that
There's a lot
pressure
on-
that people are like paid to go, so you just
Exactly,
have that
yeah,
little
exactly.
bit of added pressure there.
Yeah, so I mean, and my first ever gig I did, I used CDJs, which are like the big boys, and I'd never used them before that gig. So it was a bit scary
Really?
to be
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
going
That's
from like
huge.
just being in my bedroom with like a little, tiny little thing worth 200 quid to like 5 grand's worth of equipment
That's
in front of me.
crazy.
Yeah. Did you have any like bad experiences at the beginning of it though, like performing for people?
When I came to uni, I did a couple gigs in Bournemouth, and I had bad experiences, not necessarily with me playing, but with drunk people causing havoc whilst I was doing stuff. So on 2 occasions, on 2 different sets I did in Bournemouth, there were girls who were kind of lingering over the top with their drinks. And then here we go, spills her drink all over the decks and all my music cuts out completely. And I'm just like, oh my god, now what do I do?
That's
Because
awful.
like, if it's on your set, like they're just going to immediately think that you're just rubbish.
Yeah.
Even though, so, but yeah, that's kind of the only thing that's really happened that's awful.
What did you do in that situation to resolve it?
Well, surprisingly, decks do better with water than they do with alcohol. So they actually got showered. The decks that were there got showered with water after that. But luckily there were some replacements that came up. But by the time they got them, my set was over. So
Oh,
no.
crap.
Oh, that's
much, but-
awful. Like, yeah, just like,
these things happen though, don't they?
You just learn from it, like.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
At least it was nothing that was actually your fault.
Yeah,
It's a
it's not on
positive
me.
thing.
No.
Yeah,
Do
you
you-
don't feel the guilt from it.
Do you find it different playing in like different cities, like playing like in Southampton, like Bournemouth? Do you reckon like the crowds are different and like everyone like takes it a little bit differently?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I don't have too much experience of playing gigs around, but I mean, if I'm going to compare Bristol to Southampton here, because that's probably the most contrast. Because when I did a gig in Bristol last year, there's so much energy and passion for the music over there.
Yeah.
Bristol
think-
crazy, yeah.
yeah,
I'm
they're
living near
mental.
Bristol, and the nights out there are mad.
Oh yeah, they're insane.
Yeah.
And you know that everyone who's there is like just there to, you know, hear the stuff you play, and they're really keen on more like underground stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like in Southampton sometimes it's more just about playing stuff that other people know, just
Yeah.
because you got to fit the criteria sometimes
Yeah.
maybe.
But obviously, like playing in Southampton, how did it go from like even doing things like Bristol or Bournemouth or wherever? Was that more you fenced for it, or was it kind of opportunities were more given to you because they heard about you around here?
It was a bit of both really. I mean, you've always got to kind of be a bit naggy sometimes, just to
Yeah.
kind of
Get what you want.
exactly, yeah. So sometimes it was occasions of me just write to people all the time, being like, "Oh, have you got any sets free?" Blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it was because they heard of the brand and they wanted some DJs in a different city, really.
Yeah.
So
So obviously
cool.
you're like part of like Astrofunk, which is obviously a kind of mixed genre kind of group that's kind of relatively known around here for students.
Mm.
Do you think that had some kind of like influence in helping you as like even like a solo producer and DJ get gigs and etc.?
100%. I think one of the reasons I started Astrofunk was to give myself more opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I know how difficult it can be sometimes to get gigs, especially, you know, if you're just on your own as a DJ, people, if you don't know the right people, they're just going to shun you off.
Yeah.
So I was like, what can I do here to boost something more, I suppose?
Yeah.
And like, I really wanted to almost, not improve the scene, just give the Southampton scene what it needs in a way.
Yeah.
Just so, you know, there's more underground stuff down here, there's more of a party down here, sometimes people can just be like, woo! You know, just let loose a bit, so.
It's true. So would you say, how did like you and Astrofunk all kind of come together then? Was it something that organically happened through just being uni friends or like...
Surprisingly enough, the Bournemouth gig I did where drink got spilt is where I met a guy called Zane, and Zane is the guy who started Astrofunk with me. So he was a Bournemouth boy anyway, and he happened to be coming to Solent the year after. So I got in contact with him and stuff, started chatting to him, and that's kind of how it naturally formed.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we had a lot of friends who were really interested in the same stuff as us, so we'd kind of, it would kind of just connect on its own, really.
Yeah.
And now there's like, what, 15, 16 of us that are like this group of people that are doing it now, so it's really
Yeah.
cool.
But you're not all just DJs though, are you?
No.
You're all kind of like business inquiries, like it's like literally like a bit like a mini label in that way. You're
Yeah,
all
I
kind of
suppose.
together as a pact and it's
Yeah.
everything's kind of covered for whatever's needed.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of it was that it was always going to be like a collective, I suppose, so it was all
Yeah.
going to be like, you know, everyone making their part and feeding ideas, so it's all like homegrown and natural,
Yeah.
which is really what we wanted to do, because you don't just want to pay someone to do something good for you if you know you
No,
feel
it's
like
true.
you can have the ability to do it yourself with a group of people. So
Yeah, and I must say, I had Astrofunk in for an event I did last year, and
Yeah.
like even when I spoke to Ollie, who was like the organizer with me, whenever I need something, he'd be like, look, it's this much, we've got these promotions, you can use our branding on this, and I would say like, Jesus, this is on lockdown. Like
Yeah.
it's just, I would say it's so impressive. Like obviously, just kind of going in local areas and just being kind of uni students having fun.
Mm.
The amount of professionalism, kind of like preparation you guys have, like I do think it's really impressive.
thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, Ollie is definitely, you know, he's one of the most hardworking people I've ever met for his age, for sure. Like, he's younger than me, and he, like, I don't even wake up to the afternoon sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas he's like, 8 AM, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, which is
Yeah.
so awesome, because that's literally the kick in the arse that I need to,
Yeah.
for this stuff now. So yeah, Ollie's awesome. I really
I
like
suppose
him.
there not being a group of you as well, like you all have different experiences, like you've all done different things, so you like,
Exactly.
can all like interpret that. And, like,
Yeah, and we've all
build
come
on
from
it.
different areas where there may be different kinds of music and stuff. And then when
Yeah.
you bring all that back together again, it's really nice.
I was actually going to ask you that as well. Would you say being in Astrofunk and kind of maybe seeing different music perspectives and tastes, do you think that really helped kind of mature yours or give an understanding of your kind of sound that you want to do?
100%, 100%. My sound has changed beyond this experience, because when I used to be a bassline DJ. I started from garage, then went to bassline, and then I started Astrofunk without too much experience of like disco house music. But I think when I started hanging around with these people and like connecting with this kind of music, it brought me back naturally into it a lot more.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, I didn't realise until Astrofunk how much I'd enjoy house and disco music at all. So that really had an influence.
That's it. So what would you say makes a good DJ set then? Like on your personal opinion?
I'd say, for me now, I'd say selection is really, really important because you're only really defined as a style by the music you play. Because, you know, when anyone can learn to mix eventually, you know, you could spend 2 years just learning how to mix properly. You can spend 2 months learning how to mix properly. But it's how deep you dig to find the stuff that you want to play. Because for me personally, I still love playing the music that everyone else knows, but at the same time, I want to showcase new music and music that should be heard. That isn't, because it's quite underground. So I think, you know, you're only really defined by the selection, to be honest, and then the mixing doesn't really matter that much. In my opinion.
How much preparation do you put into a set before? Do you like plan out all the songs you're gonna play, or is it more like you'll go in there with a selection of songs and just like?
I mean, I used to. When I started DJing, because I was nervous all the time, I used to plan. I was like, I'm going to play this, then this, then this, and this time and stuff. But now it's just like, I'll have a selection of music that I kind of intend to play, but it'd be more like 60 tracks or whatever. And then, you know, when you're in the moment, you can just be like, oh, that could work. Because you've got to kind of read the crowd at the same time. Because if they like one thing you played a lot more than the other stuff, then you might be like, oh, okay, let's go for some more of that. So, you know.
And would you say you have like a favourite experience or a favourite gig you've had where you think like, that is one I'll never forget? Yeah,
definitely. I think there's been a couple gigs in Southampton that have just been like, oh, this is so cool. We're clearly doing something right, I suppose. And to be honest, recently, the one that did that for me was on our first birthday that I did with a live pianist.
Nice.
And I produced some music with him as well. He's such a good musician. And he played live piano and live synth and stuff during my set, and like I don't plan sets, but we properly planned that out because we were like, let's make this proper.
Sick.
So we did that, and like, yeah, he absolutely smashed it, and everyone was loving the stuff we were doing, which was just really, really cool because I love the live instrumentation involved with DJing because it makes it more of a performance than just pressing buttons.
So would you say you prefer like live music to recorded music in that way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even when I do production, I tend to focus more on the live instrumentation side than I do on the electronic robotic side of things. So, and that's probably from like my musical background anyway. So that's kind of led naturally into disco, which is why I probably love it so much now, which is weird to say.
So even in that way, so when you're even like kind of getting ready to mix a song or even start producing a song, do you think of that like, okay, how would this kind of like interpret with the crowd? Like, how, do you know what I mean, that kind of way? Do you always think of like the reaction of performing it in that way? Yeah,
I mean, it's not the main priority for me when making music because sometimes I'll make music that's just completely different. I don't really have like a set way and path that I intend to go down when I make music. It kind of just happens.
Just like creative juices.
Yeah, exactly. And you never really know what you're going to end up with. But, sometimes you do make music and you think, oh, okay, this is designed for the dance floor. Whereas other times you'll make music and you'll be like, okay, this may just be, you know, one that you chill to whilst washing your dishes. So it can be anything really.
Yeah, I fuck with that. So speaking of like the kind of the local Southampton scene, how hard would you kind of say for even like emerging artists in your personal experience, have you found people struggling to even get places like, not places, kind of gigs at a place like Switch or even Orange Rooms or etc.? Do you think there's a lot of opportunity for artists here?
I don't think there's enough opportunity for artists
could be more.
I think there could be a lot more opportunity for artists. And I think it's not just, I don't think it's just a problem in this city, I think it's a problem in a lot of cities at the moment, is that, you know, it's so much about who you know nowadays, and it's so much about playing for a criteria nowadays, that if you're like underground, and if you're actually like unbelievable, if you're not playing music that would just be, you know, a bit more mainstream, then people will kind of shun you off. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I found it, I think I was quite lucky.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say to you. How did yours kind of come around? Because obviously you guys get a lot of gigs, and you never really had a problem, and obviously a lot of people around here know you guys. How did that kind of come for you? Did it kind of just, not skyrocket, but in a way where like you woke up and you were a bit like, okay, we're now getting this, and people know us, or was it a situation where...
By that, and I think because we had loads of different extended friendship groups around here, that immediately brought people to the events quite quickly, and then that just went from friend to a friend to a friend to a friend, and so on.
Yeah.
And I think the timing we had as well was really good, because we started the event when disco was kind of creeping back up into the scene a bit, and there wasn't too much of that for students around here at the time.
No, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you sort of jumped on it before everyone else did.
Yeah, I mean, there's been people in Southampton who've done it for ages, like Gold School Boys, who we've known for ages, and they definitely helped us out through our journey, because we did a garden party with them. First year we ran Astro Funk.
Is that the Sobar one?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Disco Garden it was
yeah.
called, and that was probably the most amount of people I played to in Southampton.
How many was
So
it?
There was probably like 400 or 500 people.
Nice.
At that, and you know, that was so fun.
Do you guys find though, obviously, as you do get like quite good gigs and stuff, when you guys are circulating around the scene, do any of you not ever feel pressured at times, or even if you're doing a solo gig, that like you have to kind of stick to a certain type of music, otherwise those venues won't like you or they won't continue playing? Is there that kind of pressure?
I wouldn't say it's pressure. I'd just say it's more of a frustration, because you know, if it were up to me, I'd love to play the music that I want to play as much as I can. Even though I'll definitely work to the crowd, I'd still love to be able to just be like, this is me as my own style, rather than going to a gig and thinking, oh, I have to play, you know, Kistery or whatever. You know, I even though, you know, some of the Kistery music is hilarious and brilliant, you know, I don't know, I'm oh my god, I think I just prefer playing music for me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if the crowd don't like it, then that's on them more than it's on me, I suppose. I don't want to sound arrogant by saying
it's
that.
not, of course.
I mean, like,
listen, people come and see you, it's what you like.
yeah, but I know that there's clearly people liking it around here.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm playing stuff just to, you know, piss people off around here.
Yeah.
Like a 2004 dubstep set at a disco event, that's not going to happen. So, you know, I'll play music that I think the crowd will like, or I hope the crowd should like.
Yeah. But is it ever a situation where venues will say to you, you have to do this, you have to play this is what we want?
Yeah, sometimes. I don't think I've really had that problem too much, to be honest, because I've been doing my own brand, and obviously with the brand that we've been doing, it's all about all of the DJs showcasing themselves more than anything else. We don't want to tell the DJs you can only play this, you can only play this, because that's sort of what we're
That's
about.
what it
limiting
is,
artistry.
Exactly, and we don't want to keep that idea here. We want to make sure everyone's playing to what they want to play.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. So for you, obviously, because obviously you do more of your own thing now anyway, and I know personally how much you take this, how seriously you do take music. So for you, do you kind of have a plan for what you want to do next? Do you think you want to try and stay here and build more of a profile around here, or do you want to go different cities, or go to London, or like, what's your vibe?
I mean, there's so much going for me here at the moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, I finished uni this year, but even so, I think I need more time in a city, for sure. That's something I know. I don't want to go back to a town. I want to stay in a city because, you know, there's such a scene for it here, and loads of other places. I mean, ideally, if I could get different places in the UK, step my foot in the door, that'd be awesome. But I have a base here. I have like a really strong foundation here now. So I'd probably stay here for another year and then see where it takes me next year.
Would you see that being with Astro Funk, or just kind of being on your own?
I mean, both is what I'd want to do, because, you know, Astro Funk's always been a platform for everyone involved to still go and do their own thing, because the idea is, you know, we're giving these people as much opportunity as we can for them to...
Is it more like a collaborative project, so just trying to help each other out?
Yeah, definitely. But then we're also trying to help out the brand in itself, and we're trying to boost the brand as much as we can, because people love the brand. And if I did a set without Astro Funk, you know, it would be a completely different vibe. And I'm sure that's the same with a lot of other DJs around here, because they, you know, they all have their own style. Like, a lot of DJs in Astro Funk, disco isn't their main genre. So, you know, you've got people like Matt Baines, who is like a dubstep DJ, Cal, who does like UK bass and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just a platform, really.
No, yeah. Give me a sec. So, how hard would you say it is to really like build a reputation for yourself in like not even just a local area, just in general like a music scene, especially when it comes to live music? Because I find, like we discussed earlier, it can be so hard to get your foot in a door. But I think once you get a good reputation, good or bad, that's you stuck. So for you, like, what was your kind of experience getting it, or what did you find things troubling? Do you think it's a hard process?
I think it's a difficult process because you have to be out and about a lot. And for me personally, I started this by just going out and talking to people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you could be such a good producer, but if you just sat in your room emailing people, the chances are you're not going to get a response.
Yeah.
It's all about human contact.
Yeah.
It still should always be about human contact, because when you network face to face, people immediately connect with you so much more.
Yeah.
So that's why I've managed to put my foot in the door in the scene here quite a lot, is because I've just been trying to talk to as many people as I can, and you've got to stay nice throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
You can't be...
Don't be a dick.
Exactly, you can't be a dickhead, because the moment you're a dickhead to one person and they're higher up in the industry to you,
Yeah.
is the moment that they start spreading around the fact that you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So I've always tried being as nice as I can.
Yeah. Would you say at all, like, because you said about like human contact, but would you not say things like maybe social media or things like that, has that not helped you guys, or
Yeah.
communicate with people, because that can really show your music and what you, instead of like kind of having a conversation, it's like, well, let's put the money where your mouth is, you know?
Well, social media is literally the highest importance in most people's lives
Oh, yeah.
nowadays. So you have to be on social media no matter what. And obviously you're going to get so much reach through social media because that's just how it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm just trying to think.
A lot of venues don't hire artists unless they know they've got a following on social
Yeah,
media.
I mean, it can definitely have an impact, because if your Facebook page has like 100 likes, they're more likely to just
Yeah, sack
be
it
like,
off.
you're clearly not that good if you've only got 100 likes.
If you've got 1,000, you're like showing actually these people do like me.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Like, interested.
And that could literally just be 1,000 of your friends liking
Yeah.
your page, but that makes a whole world of difference when it comes to social media.
Yeah.
But still, it should be to me, because then I sometimes tend to think like, well, why don't people just buy, because people buy Twitter followers and Instagram likes, why don't people just buy those Facebook likes? And
Yeah, but then you can see like who likes them, and it's normally like those dodgy accounts. So you can sort of twig it straight away.
yeah, to be
So
fair, I
you
just do a tactic, be like, right, I'm going to get 100 people I know to like it, they can be at the top of the list and the rest can just be inactive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
I'll
just
just
like,
make 1,000
Try
different
and work
Facebook
out, yeah.
accounts with 1,000 different
Why not?
emails.
Yeah, just try and work something out there.
look, you want to get somewhere,
Yeah.
so I've got to do, I mean, do it.
Yeah.
But no, it's true, and that's what kind of I think can annoy me, because obviously I do think social media and like the internet is so good for giving people opportunities, but I think it can really set people back in a way where, like you said, if you haven't got 100 likes, that immediately is like your image of who you are as like an artist, or it kind of shows to people, it kind of gives an opinion of like how talented you are, and I think, but that could just be a lack of opportunities, like kind of like F off in that way.
Yeah.
It's sort of the nicest thing, and that's where I've always found not a lot of struggle, but especially like here, you'll see like the odd people and stuff, but like it is, like you said earlier, it really is a thing where everyone really is struggling to even try and get a foot in the door. But that's maybe down to just how easy, not how easy it is, but how accessible everything is now.
Yeah.
So in a way, there's just naturally more competition because people are fighting through
Exactly. You know, there's a lot of people that want to be DJs these days.
Yeah.
And that immediately makes it more difficult to be at the right standard. But I know that a lot of these people that want to be DJs just to impress girls or whatever they want to do it
Yeah.
for, they're just going to fizzle out anyway. So, I mean, the annoying part is, if you want to be a DJ in this modern age, you have to be a promoter. You can't just be a DJ anymore, because if you're not a promoter, then you know no one's going to know who you are.
Yeah.
Because of the whole social media impact on that.
Well, if you compare kind of being a singer to a DJ, would you say that's where it's kind of different? Because in that way, maybe for a DJ where like, obviously a lot of times, especially the music you guys play, it is a kind of place where it is kind of like drug-infested kind of influenced music and etc. So kind of being in that way, people like to be kind of social and like whatever, and it is true.
Yeah.
If you get a good name as a DJ and you're a good guy and people like you and whatever, like people want to work with you more, would you say it's different?
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's different. And you know, with singers and people who play instruments, they can be like session musicians if they're really good, and they can reach out to the right people and have the immediate contacts.
Yeah.
Whereas with DJs, you're kind of doing it on your own,
Yeah.
because unless you're paying stupid amounts of money for a manager, which you really don't need to do, you know, you can't play for other people in that aspect. You've got to find those contacts yourself.
Yeah, of
the
course.
whole way through.
So how do you go about promoting yourself, your brand?
I obviously, Facebook is the main priority, and we use Instagram as well, but Yeah, I suppose once again we want to try keep it as natural as possible, and we want people to be talking about this stuff all the time.
You don't want to like ram it in through people's faces.
Yeah, because
like, oh yeah, it's there again. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because people are going to scroll through Facebook like nothing. So what is an event popping up that 10% of your friends that get see? So it's all about word of mouth. Because if people leave,
Southampton's quite an inclusive small city anyway.
Yeah,
so
which helps.
Word of mouth's quite a big factor here.
exactly, definitely a big factor.
Have you like played any festivals before? Do you find like if they've been any different at all? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I did quite a lot of festivals this year actually, which is really weird because I never did festivals until this year. But I did Isle of Wight festival. What else did I do?
This is Astrofunk, or was this you?
This was a bit of everything. So I did Isle of Wight through Astrofunk, which was an immediate contact through Orange Dreams, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
And then I did Best of All through Goat Shed. So have you heard of Goat Shed?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like the
I've
streaming
heard
thing
of
around here. So yeah, I did that through Goat Shed because they knew people that were running a stage at the event. So managed to get that, which was really,
Could
really
you
cool.
tell us a bit more about Goat Shed?
Yeah, sure. So Goat Shed is, I don't want to phrase it like a small boiler room because it's not really that. It's basically just a streaming platform based in Southampton that kind of is used to inspire a lot of people and bring more underground DJs into the scene around here. And it's definitely much more than just a Southampton thing because I know it's quite effective for me because when you're in a room on your own and not at a crowd, it's literally all about what you want to play.
Yeah.
Because no one else can tell you otherwise. So you're literally playing for you, and then people that are going to watch that are literally seeing the raw stuff that you would intend to play.
Yeah.
Rather than anything else. So that's kind of made me dig deeper and kind of alternate
Challenge
between...
yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to showcase you as best as you can when you're
Of
doing
course.
stuff like Goat
Yeah.
Shed. So, and yeah, there's such cool guys who run it, and I think it's really good for the scene around here to have people like
Is
that.
it a case of just contact them, then you'll get a set, or is it different?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's literally that easy. But they'll have a criteria where you'll have to give it a mix, let them know what you're kind of doing, because they kind of have a policy of like no jump up drum and bass kind of thing because they want to keep it quite underground stuff. So but yeah, I mean, I love the Goat Shed boys. I think they're doing an absolutely fantastic job around here. So
Yeah, it's perfect.
So obviously, in the last 2 years, I think it's quite evident here, especially for a uni student, you've had like quite an impressive and at the same time lucky but hard-working kind of journey. Is there anything beforehand that, because I think a lot of times before people start to kind of like push, like kind of jump the gun to like try and go into producing or singing or DJing, etc., that they have a lot of misconceptions of how big some things are. Did you ever have that? Like, did you ever approach something you think that really wasn't what I thought it would be, even in a bad or a good way?
Production more than DJing, I suppose, because yeah, I mean, with production you are completely self-taught. And even though I've been doing a course here, which is digital music, which is like production stuff, I've still used it to kind of do my own stuff.
Yeah.
And try to teach myself as many things as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes, production, once again, if you're a producer, it's all online. And I, when I was a bassline DJ, I made some bootleg thing that did really, really well on SoundCloud, even though it's nothing to do with me now, but it managed to get like 125,000 views on SoundCloud, which is absolutely crazy. And when I saw stuff like that happening, and that was like early stages of me DJing, I was like, whoa, this is insane, how like social media can do this to you. And apparently my mate went to Festival 2 years ago and he heard the track being played on one of the big stages,
That's
and I was like,
insane.
oh my
You should
god,
try and
like,
get the rights for that. You could get paid a lot for that.
yeah, that would be nice. But stuff like that is just like, oh my god.
And then can I ask, what is that feeling like though? Because like, I'm not gonna lie, I love my music more than any bitch, but I am not talented in that way. I never tried producing, but I can't sing. I don't really
I don't think any of us
I
can.
can play
Oh,
the
you
guitar
can.
good.
You can. I can't. Either.
But in that essence, like for me, I always have like even like those kind of like imaginary thoughts in your head, like, oh my god, just imagine like standing there and just all those people, just like anything like that. So even you hearing that song, like, what is that feeling like for you?
Oh, so good. I think when for me now, especially if I make my music now and I'm like, oh, I know that this would go really well in the club. Well, I hope it would. And then you play it and everyone's like, oh yes, and you're just like, yes,
This is literally what you needed.
Yeah,
Yeah, literally.
it's so cool because like you've completely created that yourself, and then to play that out to people and people really love what you're doing is just so gratifying, I suppose.
Would you even say like going through this journey, like it's helped you a lot with like even like elements of like confidence and stuff, just within like yourself, within your music, like it's just really kind of helped you as a person at the same time?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like talking to loads of different people's really increased my confidence because even it's not exactly forced upon you, but you want to try and make those connections as much as you can, and going through that procedure is really nice because it immediately puts you in a position where you're more open to talk to as many people as you can.
Yeah.
And even when there's been like bigger DJs that have come to the cities and stuff, I'd still tried having genuine conversations with them because I know loads of people like fangirl and fanboy artists and just want to know like, oh my God, I love you so much and stuff. Whereas I think now I'd rather try have a decent human conversation with these people than just, you know, big themselves up to themselves.
No, absolutely. But I know it is true, you know, even I've had experience like seeing certain people in that way and seeing how certain people react, and you do kind of learn a lot of times they just actually want to have a genuine conversation.
Yeah.
And even for you, that's why I asked, because I don't think it didn't sound like it was more of a, oh, I'm not confident to speak to those people, but it's just, I look at it like a switch where when you're very passionate or motivated for something, you're there a bit like, it's not about talking, it's about like getting what you want, or kind of being like, I want to like progress, it's like, take a chance, just go for it. So that's what I look at it more as. Am I right there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time you will try to talk to these people because you think an opportunity could come from it.
Yes.
But at the same time, you want to act like you're as genuine as you can be.
Oh yeah, of course, still be genuine and whatever, of course.
Yeah, so you don't just want to go up to them and be like,
no, but that's like the force that pushes you that way.
Exactly, because then it's just going to make people go like, no thank you, so...
Well, we are coming up to all the time we do have today, but I do want to ask you lastly, obviously we've seen you just release like a documentary and some new songs, which is wondering if you could tell our audience a bit about it.
Yeah, so I've got a new documentary out on the Astrofunk page, which was made by a good friend of mine, and it's basically just about me and my influences and kind of my production techniques and stuff like that. And I've got so much new music coming out very, very soon. I've got an EP coming out with the pianist I did a live set with.
Nice.
That'll be awesome. And yeah, loads of new stuff in the mist is the idea.
Is there a release date for this yet? Or?
No, there isn't, to be honest with you. But it's going to be soon, that's for sure. I know it's going to be soon because I want to give people time to kind of miss the music and then bring it back rather than releasing loads and loads of stuff at the same time. And people be like, well...
Leave people on the edge of their seats.
Exactly, keep people like, oh, okay.
Well, where can those people find you staying on their seats?
So they can find me on SoundCloud, Pandar Official. They can find me on Instagram, Pandar Official, and Facebook, Pandar Official, or the Astrofunk page. Yeah, try to keep it simple.
Well, thank you so much for today, Dan.
Thank
You're a
you.
queen.
Cheers.
See?